Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Success with Cess, where we help you make your dreams come true. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because I love to interact. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Success with Cess. Today's guest is Andrew McKinnon. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
How you doing, Cess?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being here. Andrew and I are friends, recently met in our Toastmasters group where we meet every Thursday morning at 7 a.m. It takes a lot of dedication. Andrew, as a personal injury attorney, what inspired you to join Toastmasters?
Yeah, so my name is Andrew McKinnon. I'm a personal injury lawyer here in town, and I joined Toastmasters because after COVID, I noticed I wasn't getting in the courtroom as often as I wanted to. Before COVID, we were having many hearings multiple times a week in court and got that experience of public speaking and talking to lawyers and judges and what have you. And after COVID, they brought everything online. So at that point, we started having Zoom appearances. So instead of going down to the courthouse, we were actually talking to the judge in person and shooting it with other lawyers. Everything's done on Zoom, which has its pros and cons. But I noticed I wasn't getting the public speaking reps in.
Right.
And so I wanted to join an organization to just keep that knife sharp. Because the last thing you want is to have your first public speaking event at trial when the stakes are high and your client's expecting your best and you haven't done the work to get comfortable public speaking. So
that's right. And like you said, pros and cons to Zoom. You can meet remotely and things of that nature, but you have this filter where you're kind of protected, and it's kind of a different kind of feeling when you're behind the camera in a distant office. Exactly. And addressing the people that you're trying to persuade. So tell us a little bit about your background, where you went where are you from, undergraduate school and law school?
Yeah, so I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, South Florida. Mom's a Cuban immigrant, so I was there for about 10 years, and we moved around a lot growing up with my dad's work. Found myself in North Carolina, where I went to undergrad at Appalachian State, played tennis there. So went all there 4 years, so that was fun. And when I was at college, my parents moved to the Woodlands, which is a suburb north of Houston, about 45 minutes, give or take. And I was teaching tennis up there. And I think it was probably my sophomore year. I was teaching tennis and I met a lawyer there who said, hey, what are you doing after school? And at that point, I was probably 19, give or take, and I really didn't have any sort of direction of where I wanted to go.
So you were still at Appalachian State, but you were here for the summer teaching tennis.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So parents moved here, so I moved in with them for the summer, worked here, and worked up at Kingwood Country Club. It's a country club up there. That's where I met a lawyer. He said, hey, if you thought about law, and at that point I had never thought about it. And over the summer, I think I was there for about 3-4 months. He kind of showed me the ropes of what it was like to be a lawyer and what it entailed, and I was immediately drawn to it. Didn't see myself behind a desk, working behind a spreadsheet or being stuck behind a cubicle. I wanted to be out, shooting it with other people, right. And the competition of trial really brought me to helps me being a lawyer. So once I graduated from App State, came to Houston, where I went to South Texas College of Law in downtown. And at that point started doing internships with just different companies, different law firms, and then worked for a plaintiff's personal injury firm when I graduated. Went there for a year. Didn't like the fit there, so I actually worked for the insurance company on the other side.
Okay.
For about 5 or 6 years.
All right, a little intelligence there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they say went to the dark side. Some of my plaintiff friends like to say.
Yeah.
So I got to experience what it's like to work for the insurance companies, what the defense thinks about, what the insurance companies think about, and I think it gave me a really good experience before I finally opened up my own practice and went back to being a plaintiff, so representing injured individuals.
Okay, so you're a one-man shop.
I am currently, yes. So I opened up last year. Okay. We are expanding, so we are talking to folks to grow the team.
Okay.
So we're growing quickly, which is awesome.
Where is your office?
I'm in the Galleria, so San Felipe in the Galleria.
All right, but you serve clients anywhere in the Houston metropolitan area?
All over Texas.
Okay, all over
Yeah,
Texas?
I've got a client in Dallas. I've got a couple folks in Austin. I'll fly or
Love
drive
it.
anywhere.
Love it. Love it.
If it's in Texas, I can handle it.
So tell me a little bit about the process. You acquire a client, they have an injury of some sort, a workman's comp issue or an automobile accident, and how does it go from there?
Yeah, well, you know, no two cases are alike, right? So it just depends on how the incident happened. You know, if it's at the workplace, if it's a car accident, a slip and fall, or you know, if you're on the job site and something falls on you. So, you know, first and foremost, we got to figure out what happened. How'd you get hurt? You know, how'd you get in the situation? But a 10,000-foot view of what a personal injury case looks like is first and foremost, we want to get you well. So whether it's a catastrophic case, an unfortunate death case, we need to figure out how do we, make the family or the client whole again. Sometimes you can. You know, if someone loses a loved one, you obviously can't.
Can't bring him back.
But there's certain, ways that we can compensate you as best as we can under the law. So what we do, we can take a run-of-the-mill car accident case. If you're hurt, we get you in with your doctors, make sure that you're, on the road to recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, we get together and we figure out what kind of case we have. Depends on the facts, depends on the types of doctors that you saw, what kind of injuries you saw. And then we start fighting with the insurance company pretty quickly. That process probably takes anywhere between 4 and 6 months depending on the injuries. But we're pretty much throwing the spears pretty quickly against the insurance companies.
Right. Yeah, I imagine the negotiation process is an entanglement of communications, of emails and phone calls, perhaps even text messages. Do you have a success story of some sort or something that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think having worked on the defense, I litigate a lot. So some law firms, and plenty of great law firms out there, plaintiff firms out there, but not a lot of them. Well, pretty good number, but some aren't really willing to file that lawsuit to get in the courtroom. Where that's all I did on the defense, and even as a plaintiff for a little bit. So we have no problem filing the lawsuit and going toe to toe to take it to a jury. And I think having that, folks know that. The insurance companies know that, hey, look, if you're not giving me a reasonable offer for my client, we have no problem filing the lawsuit. We have no problem trying the case.
Right.
And I think that's, I found a lot of success as soon as we file that lawsuit, and they know that we're ready for the depositions. We get ready for the written discovery. Mediate if we have to. But we're basically building the case pretty quickly, and that comes with the first demand letter that gets sent out. As soon as they see what the case looks like, my demand letter is pretty much saying, hey, look, here's all my evidence, we're ready to go. And oftentimes I'll get referrals from other lawyers. So lawyers will bring in the case, they sign up the client, the client reaches out to them, they get them through treatment, but there's an impasse with the insurance company. And they say, hey, look, here's a case, it needs to be filed, a lawsuit needs to be filed. Someone needs to go to court to fight for these people. We're not willing to do it.
We're not doing it.
Yeah.
We know you will.
Exactly. So a lot of my business actually comes from other lawyers. They say, hey, here's a lawsuit that needs to be filed. Here's a client. We meet with the client, with the lawyer. We all get together to come up with a game plan. But then we find value, pretty quickly as soon as we file that lawsuit, especially after depositions.
Right.
Once I get a chance to talk to the other folks and they see what, kind of lawyer I am, I might be a little hot sometimes, a little aggressive.
That's what they say is, everybody hates attorneys until you need one, or
Yeah.
everybody hates attorneys except your own.
Uh-huh.
So you want somebody that's going to fight for you, fight for your interests, and it's very similar to my work in real estate.
Exactly.
No two cases are the same, no two transactions are the same, and I'm willing to go toe to toe to represent your interests. Very
And I think
similar.
that's what, at the end of the day, we, to your point, we take that off the plate of the client who is not in a reasonable position to do it themselves. They have too much, interest, whether it be emotional, financial, sometimes, I wouldn't, if I was in a car accident or maybe a real estate deal, I wouldn't handle it myself. I would have a third party because I'm too invested.
Yes.
And having a third party, like you and me, who are willing to take the gloves off, so to speak,
Yes.
I think is really valuable.
What I tell my clients is that it's an emotional transaction. You're going to be on an emotional roller coaster, and it serves no purpose for me to get on that emotional roller coaster with you. So don't confuse my calmness with lack of caring.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah, I'm in the fight.
Mhm.
I'm in the fight for the best outcome.
Yeah.
Of course.
And oftentimes, I mean, you probably see it in your business too. It's the folks that are the calmest in the fire. Those are the most dangerous because that means they know what they're doing and they know what's about to happen.
Right.
Typically, the guys that are the little Rottweilers that are yapping and everywhere, they're maybe compensating for something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I got you.
It's always the quiet ones when the heat turns on. Those are the guys that you need to look out for.
Well, I tell you what, Andrew's a new friend of mine. I would say you joined maybe Toastmasters maybe 4 or 5 months ago, 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah, it might even have been maybe 2 or 3 months.
Oh, 2, okay.
It was
Time
somewhat
flies.
recently. Yeah. It was. I try to go as often as I can because it's this particular club. We're part of Daybreakers Toastmasters. So there's many Toastmaster clubs. If y'all look at Toastmasters in Houston, especially, we got about, I don't know, probably like 100. It seems like every time I go on, there's more and more. But I would say Daybreakers. It's located in the Galleria. It's one of the best, supposedly, and it's the only club that I've been to. But it's fantastic because you guys are regimented. Everybody's speaking. Everybody pushes each other to speak.
Yes.
We're given very good feedback from fantastic speakers.
And what I like to know about you is that you're a personal injury attorney, yet wanting to improve that ability to communicate, to present a case, and to make an impact, a persuasive impact on a judge and jury.
I think it's one of the things I love most about this job is you're never done. You're always learning. You're always improving. How do you formulate a case, build a case, tell the story? How can you tell the story of a client in a more persuasive manner? And something like Toastmasters, where you're just getting up, the reps of public speaking, and you're telling stories over and over and over again. I mean, I've only been, it's only been a couple months, I think,
Okay.
but I've already improved. I can already see the way that I'm shaping stories. Storytelling,
Right.
is being shaped
It
for the
is.
better.
It
I
is.
think.
It's a great storytelling opportunity.
And it's fun. Good coffee, good people.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell the folks how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so we're located on San Felipe Street in the Galleria, but you can also reach me by phone at 832-810-3664 or by email at amckinnon@mckinnon-law.com, and you can obviously Google us. It's McKinnon Law, PLLC. So if you have any questions at all, we're happy to talk to you. If I can't handle it, I definitely know somebody who can. So give us a shout if you ever have any questions.
Yeah, we'll get that posted up on there.
Awesome.
Andrew, thanks for being on the
Thanks,
show.
man. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Enjoyed it.
This is cool.
Be sure to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and we'll see you again very soon.
Bye, guys.